Morning. Welcome to Ball on Ballers Pod. I know I haven't posted in 5 days. I've just been really busy doing stuff, personal stuff, but I'm here to do a quick video on what's been going on recently. And a lot of you have heard about Sesko and Watson. Now, personally, I would prefer Sesko for a variety of reasons. One of them being he's 22 years old, he's young. People mostly for strikers, mostly reach the prime in the mid-20s. Some obviously do before that, some do well, and then they start scoring non-stop, and then in about 25, 26, they're a good striker. He had 17 goals, 5 assists in 41 games last season, and he's known by Chris Vival, who gave him a start at RP Leipzig. Now, so they're really the pros for him to come to us. I think what's not a pro is the fact that he's not Prem-proven, which takes away from what Ineos want. Ineos obviously want them Prem-proven players, hence why they bought Mbeumo and Cunha in, because they're obviously Prem-proven. One played for Wolves, one played for Brentford, both in the Premier League, both scoring all over the place. So for that reason, you're looking at paying for the inexperienced striker, but more expensive for around 70 million, which is what RB Leipzig want. However, on the other hand, you've got Watkins, who's Premier League proven. He scored 17 goals, 14 assists in 54 games. And he plays a lot deeper, hence why he gets more assists, and has played with Mbeumo at Brentford before in the Championship. So you got to weigh up the odds here. The only thing I would say about Watkins is he's 29, so you're probably going to get a few years out of him still. But you won't get your money back as you would if he sold Sesko. Because Sesko has that. Even if you give him a 5-year contract and then he explodes in his mid-20s and somebody wants him, you can obviously, sky's the limit. Depends on what you want to charge at the time. Paying 70, you probably got to get 90 to 100 for him, depending on how well he does. But it's a risk. He also potentially won't get your money back off Watson because at 31, maybe give him a 2-year contract at 31. Somebody might not come in for him. So it depends on how he does in the Premier League, I suppose. Personally, Watson would be more suited for a style, but I think we're going to struggle trying to get Villa to sell him to us. It will be really tough. Watkins is cheaper. But Sesko, if it works, has more in him. So it's really a tough one. Although I prefer Watkins, I think the age and the fact that Villa probably won't even sell him or want to sell him unless the offer's really high or more than his wants. United have valued him at 40 to 45. On the transfer market, he's looking at 40 to 45. Villa obviously want more. They want more towards the 60. So you're looking at paying 15 to 20 million more. Whereas Sesko, I think RB Leipzig want more towards the 70. So maybe offer him 60 plus 10 in add-ons, I don't know. But he is still young. And the fact that we've got Cheeto, who's still young and still learning. Højlund is still young, but he's not hitting what you want him to hit, which is the net. And then you've got Xerxes, who's not really, I don't class him as much of a striker. I class him as more of a false 9 role, and he can go into midfield and play deep. He can play deep, same as Watson. Watson can play deep and go back and set the wingers up, which means more goals potentially for Mbeumo, Cunha, and then himself. So we've got somebody that's similar to Watkins in Xerxes. The only problem is Watkins is actually a striker, whereas Xerxes is more of a false 9. And he's more of a behind the 10s, like just between midfield, and maybe you can fit into the 10 position as well, Xerxes can. So we got him. So it's like we got to try and weigh up the odds. If I had to choose today, I'd say go for Sesko, only because the age and the fact that he hasn't really hit his prime yet, and he can bring so much to the team, and the fact that Chris Vival knows him, which means we've got something over Newcastle. But saying that, Newcastle are willing to pay whatever it takes to get him. So they can actually offer RB Leipzig more than we can, which I guess is a bonus for Newcastle. They don't really need to get rid of Isak either to get him. And they've already spoken to him and told him his terms. And I think it's just a decision now for what Sesko really wants, whether he wants to come to us or whether he's going to end up choosing Newcastle, but it depends on what we've offered him so far and what the discussions with his agents have been like, and what's taken place and what's been said. But I know that both teams, Newcastle and United, have not approached RB Leipzig yet with an offer of any sort. And that's because they're waiting for the player to decide what he wants to do. So that's pretty much the update for today. I've got a quick update on Garnacho. So with Garnacho, there's still interest from Chelsea, but Chelsea are waiting more towards the end of the window. So you're going to be looking at mid-August before Chelsea try and something, because they're still trying to get rid of a few players and still trying to bring a few players in. But there's still really good interest in Chelsea for Garnacho, and if it all works out, he can potentially go to Chelsea. But that's probably not going to happen for the last few weeks. I think Garnacho is more of a let's bring him in just for peace of mind kind of transfer. He's not like the first choice or somebody that they think, yeah, let's go for him now. Hence why they're trying to wait till the last 2 weeks of the window, as reported by Fabrizio. So let's see how this all pans out. But like I said, Watkins is probably the better choice for United because he's prem proven and knows how to hit a target. But Sesko, I reckon, has more longevity and he's still young and he's still got time to hit his prime. So for that reason, and the fact that we can probably sell Sesko on for more in the future, I prefer Sesko. So that's the end of that video, and I hope to see you on the next one. And I'll try not to wait too long before I do the next one. So apologies, just some personal issues I've had to take care of. But please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll definitely see you on the next one.